Hi, how are you doing?
Very well, how are you?
Well, congratulations on this fantastic release, first of all.
Thank you so much.
So let me ask you, what is the vision for 2023 for Z5 and your reason for backing Chhatriwali?
Okay, that's so tall
Lots of
question.
questions,
Yeah. Okay, so vision for 2023, we just want to please India, connect with Indians and ensure we are presenting real relatable stories which all of you enjoy. I think that's what we do best and we want to do it even better as we go forward. So simple, that's about it. Keep India entertained at home with the Z5 as the best OT everyone should subscribe to. So that's it.
Fantastic. Your vision behind backing a film like this?
Okay. We look for real relatable stories जो कि connect करती हैं, जो कि सबके साथ connect करती हैं. So let me ask you a question on that question.
Oh my God, I'm so not prepared. Yes.
What do you think is India's biggest problem?
India's biggest problem? Population.
True that.
Oh my
You
God, I
nailed
got it
it.
right. Amazing.
So what's the subject doing here? It's connecting with Indians in a very fun, quirky way. I'm sure you've seen the trailer and everyone of us should see it. It connects with the Janta, the pulse, and
Correct.
kind of, it's a very relatable problem for everyone in India. I mean, if you go to tier 2, 3 cities, women, men, I mean, they're like so shy, and the subject brings it out in a very effective way. So I think it was a no-brainer for us to pick, and team has done a great job. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. A big hand for Manish, please. Manish, why don't you stay on? Because I'm going to ask, of course, your partner to come up on stage at this point. I'm talking about Partners in Dreams, producer, RSVP Movies, the one and only Mr. Ronnie Screwvala. Could you please join us? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Do we all say that? Big fan? Yeah. Also, big
It's an
fan.
air-conditioned room, so there are no fans. So I'm glad there's one fan at least.
I'm glad you cracked that joke because if I did, I would be a meme on the internet.
Yeah, we're here to be light. It's a light movie. We want to be light.
Absolutely. You know, I wanted to ask you, big fan obviously for the content that you've given us, but also as a feminist, I've always looked at your work and you've been backing women-fronted stories, you know, like Rashmi Rocket, whether it's A Thursday or Wonder Women. I want to ask you, why does that matter to you?
I think for the same reason that Manish mentioned, why does population, we're going to be the most populous country in the world. But I think women are sensitive, women are intuitive. Actually, they lead in every single way. And I think stories have to be told in a very universal way. And I think in some way, cinema has always leaned on the other side. So I think you need to bring out the stories of today and tomorrow and do it fearlessly. And I think it's come naturally, it's not come as a strategy, and I think that's why we're very happy about it.
Thank you so much for that. I think, gentlemen, we're ready to show them the trailer. This is the first thing. Good? Yes.
No, I'm not.
You're not, right?
Not at all.
All right, talk to me about maintaining the balance between educating and entertaining.
See, we are here to entertain actually. Education is a byproduct, I would say a very positive byproduct.
Okay.
But the film is predominantly here to
So you can
entertain.
take a seat. Sorry, they're already ready. Please. Please, take a seat. Thank you. Oh.
So, mainly we have focused on taking out the issue extremely in a fun way, lighter way, and we can see in the trailer that we are talking about sex education and everything, but it has a very nice, humorous connotation. So,
Fantastic.
yeah.
I'm really looking forward to the film.
Thank you so
And I
much.
can't wait for it. Thank you so much. And while you've taken your seat, and so have I, at this point, can I please stand up to invite the wonderful Rakul to join us? And a round of applause, please, because Rakul. So, Rakul, I'm going to ask you a very media question.
Okay.
But
I'm not surprised.
है ना? All right, I'm going to ask you exactly how we should be asking this question because there's no other way, which is बड़ा ही bold subject pick किया है रकुल अपने headlining project के लिए.
So I think, you know, मेरे लिए एक subject, it's not about the subject being bold. I think the entire conversation is that it is not bold. It is as normal as it can be. And you know, if we talk about, I'm a believer that if we talk about physical health, mental health, emotional health, then why not about sexual health? You know, option nahi compulsory hai. I truly believe this is the only thing we don't have an option in life. So why education related to it should be an option? And I think it's very important. It's need of the hour. And this actually, when I read the script, I connected with it so much that you know I felt, you know, sometimes you have certain beliefs, but when it comes to you in form of a script, it just reiterates the fact that yes, I think I should do something which will help people. Obviously, entertainment being on the forefront. And I connected so much that nobody has ever spoken about the effects on a woman's health. You know, like we're talking about abortions and miscarriages, but can any one of us tell how many abortions can a woman's body take? Or what are the ill effects, or how does it traumatize a woman, you know, mentally, emotionally, physically? And these are conversations we need to have for a society to grow and to move forward, right? So yeah, I just felt that this was something that I really connected with, and hence the film. Bold hai ki nahi, wo to nahi hai, but the thought is ki it should not be considered a bold topic.
Can I just say I'm very proud of you? Can I be proud on your behalf?
Yeah, yeah, please be extra proud.
Extra proud. Big hand for that, please, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. At this point, can I please request Sumit Vyas to join us? Hi. Sumit, as I was saying, first thing I want to do to you is because you know it's been a good run. You've had some really nice projects, you know, releasing back to back almost. So it's just the timing of things. As friends from the media, we're probably meeting Sumit on a weekly basis right now. But let me ask you, because there has been an influx of releases, at this point, I think I can ask you this: what sets this film apart from the other subjects that you've picked recently?
I mean, this is again a very sensitive topic, and the first thing that I really liked about the script is how clean the script is. It's dealt with this topic in a fun, humorous way, and there's also a very thin line between being entertaining and talking about an issue that can possibly make people uncomfortable, and to be able to deliver it without making them feel uncomfortable is hard. It's very, very hard to write, to make. And when I met Tejas also, and the way he saw the film, it was very, very clear, you know, and I thought it would be a great project to be a part of.
Absolutely. Well chosen, I must say. Now, I think I want to take that to Tejas once again. Tejas, the fact that you can also watch this with your family is the win already of this film, right? Was that important for you?
No, 100%, because actually the first thing which I did after we had a first cut, I invited my parents over because they are in Nagpur, they stay in Nagpur. I invited them over and I showed it to them, and they were so proud that we have taken this subject ahead. Also, what I really want to mention here is that anybody above 12 years can sit together with somebody like 80 years old, all together as a family. They can sit together and watch this film and enjoy without getting embarrassed. This is what we have tried to achieve.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for
Thank
that.
you.
At this point, जैसे मैंने कहा कि I've been a fan of him before I even knew what being a fan was. Satish ji, Satish Kaushik ji, would you please join us? हैं ये सालों से ये कैलेंडर के टाइम से चल रहा है एंड आई एम सॉरी टू ब्रिंग दैट अप बिकॉज आज भी हम बैठे थे और किसी ने कहा आपकी बहुत बड़ी फैन हूँ मिस्टर इंडिया से सो दैट्स नेवर गोइंग टू लीव यू बट आई थिंक ह्यूमर इज वंडरफुल क्योंकि ह्यूमर के साथ आप एक सोशल मैसेज बहुत ही ब्यूटीफुल तरीके से दे सकते हैं क्या ये आपके लिए ज़रूरी है कि सोशल मैसेज के साथ एक ह्यूमर हो?
Good evening, everyone. Lovely to be here. Yes, this is very, very important. अगर हम हिंदी सिनेमा को देखें तो हमारी बिगेस्ट हिट और बिगेस्ट सक्सेसफुल फिल्म वो हुई हैं जो एंटरटेनमेंट के साथ साथ सोशल मैसेजेस भी दे के गई हैं. वो चाहे वी शांताराम की फिल्में हों, OBR चोपड़ा साहब की फिल्में हों, बड़े बड़े प्रोडक्शन हाउसेस इस बात पे टिके रहे हैं कि वो फिल्में उन्होंने हमेशा बनाई हैं, यश जी ने बनाई हैं, कि लव स्टोरी भी बताते हैं लेकिन उसके अंदर कुछ सोशल इशू या ह्यूमन रिलेशनशिप की कुछ केमिस्ट्री जो है वो बताते हैं असल में. तो विदाउट सोशल मैसेज पिक्चर का बड़प्पन नहीं बनता है. आप एंटरटेनमेंट के साथ साथ कुछ घर लेके जाएं, वो भी बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट होता है. सो आई थिंक social message is very, very important, which this picture has. When I read the script, when they just gave me the script, I just fell in love with the script because मुझे ऐसा लगा कि इस टैबूड सब्जेक्ट के ऊपर बहुत सालों बाद पिक्चर बन रही है. You know, कुछ छुटपुट पिक्चरें देखी लेकिन वो इतनी सेंसिटिव नहीं थी. ये स्क्रिप्ट बड़ी सेंसिटिवली डेल्ट थी और दूसरा एंटरटेनमेंट इसका जो क्वेश्चन था वो बहुत स्ट्रांग था. एंड दैट इज वाई आई लाइक द स्क्रिप्ट वेरी मच. मेरे हिसाब तो इससे तो मैं आपको बताऊं कि हमारे टाइम में एक बड़ी अच्छी खासी सक्सेसफुल पिक्चर थी गुप्त ज्ञान. गुप्त ज्ञान 1974 में रिलीज हुई थी और लोग उसको थिएटर में देखने गए थे. टैबूड सोसाइटी तब तो और स्ट्रॉन्गर थी, तब इसके बारे में कोई डिस्कस नहीं करता था. कंडोम को तो कंडेम करते थे असल में, है ना, ठीक है. तो तब तो किसी को पता ही नहीं था और कोई इसके बारे में जिक्र नहीं करता था. लेकिन वो पिक्चर सक्सेसफुल हुई थी बिकॉज ऐसे सब्जेक्ट को जो समाज में, दिल में, अपनी सोसाइटी में दबा हुआ, छिपा हुआ, जिसके बारे में बात करना एक बड़ी बड़ी शर्म समझी जाती थी असल में ना. मेरे को लगता है इतने दिनों बाद, इतने सालों बाद एक ऐसी फिल्म जो ऐसे सब्जेक्ट को, जो कि हमारे समाज का एक छिपा हुआ हिस्सा है, जो कि आजकल जिसे सेक्स एजुकेशन बोलते हैं, जो बहुत ज़रूरी है. मैं भी उसी का पार्ट हूँ असल में. हम भी उसी एरा को बिलोंग करते हैं जहाँ इसके बारे में बात करना बहुत मुश्किल था. मेरी खुद की पर्सनल लाइफ में हम इन चीज़ों को डिस्कस करते थे असल में, या हम अपनी फैमिली में डिस्कस करते थे. लेकिन जैसे जैसे समाज बढ़ा है, जैसे सोसाइटी बढ़ी है, जैसे यंगर जनरेशन आई है, तो ऐसे सब्जेक्ट्स को डिस्कस करना बहुत ज़रूरी एक नेसेसिटी हो गई है. आज मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि मैं तो उसका पार्ट रहा हूँ. आई हैड ए लेट चाइल्ड इन माई लाइफ. माई डॉटर वंशिका इज 10. बहुत ज़रूरी है कि मैं उसको ये पिक्चर दिखाऊँ, बहुत पिक्चर दिखाऊं, क्योंकि उसको पता चले और उसको सेक्स एजुकेशन के बारे में बताया जाए. स्कूल में तो आजकल पढ़ाया ही जाता है डेफिनेटली, लेकिन उनको जब इस तरह का कंटेंट देखने को मिलेगा जो कि एंटरटेनमेंट के साथ होगा. ये पिक्चर बहुत एंटरटेनिंग है, ये तो मैं दावे के साथ कह सकता हूँ, क्योंकि काम किया है. और जितने ज़रूरी नहीं है कि अगर रकुल का कैरेक्टर कोई मैसेज दे रहा है तो वो नहीं, हर होल कैरेक्टराइजेशन इज वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग. सुमित, उसका घर, वो पूजा पाठ का पूरा घर का माहौल, और मैं कंडोम फैक्ट्री का जो मालिक हूँ. मेरे दादा परदादा जो है, मेरे फादर जो है कंडोम फैक्ट्री चलाते थे और बोलते थे, फादर बोलते थे, ये बड़ा नेक काम है यार, ये नेक काम है, ये बहुत ज़रूरी है, इससे सोसाइटी को, ये पॉपुलेशन कंट्रोल कर रही है, ये तो समाज की सेवा है. सो आई थिंक दिस इज ए वेरी ग्रेट मैसेज विद दिस पिक्चर इज गिविंग. It is the need of the hour in today's society, and I am sure that this picture will be loved by the families. Though everyone, some sect will still feel that it is a taboo, but उनको बाहर निकालने के लिए तो ये फिल्म बनाई गई है ताकि वो अपनी सोच को बदले. And that is important, and that is why this film is very, very important. So I'm hats off to Ronnie, hats off to Tejas, and Rakul has done a fantastic role in this. She's a great performer. Z5 supporting it. You know, everyone has done fantastic, and we had a great time shooting the film, you know.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Satish ji. A big hand for Satish Kaushik. Last but definitely not the least, Prachi Shah Pandya. A big hand as she walks up on the stage, please. Thank you, Prachi. Glimpse of your character, and I think it'll be wonderful for you to tell us a little bit about why you think that this film is important for the women of our country to watch.
सबसे पहले तो नमस्कार. Congratulations to everybody. Congratulations Ronnie sir, Tejas, Sumit, Rakul, you're wonderful in the trailer, and of course my favorite Satish and Rohini, you're doing a great job. Thank you so much first of all for having me in the film, Tejas. बहुत ही अहम किरदार है निशा का, निशा भाभी का, जो कि घर की बहुत ही एक अहम महिला है. और मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि all my seniors have already spoken a lot, but I think the effective word here is communication. It's just communicating about so many things in the film, since we are talking about the film. And रही बात मेरे किरदार की, तो of course Nisha is somebody who is wanting to communicate so much to her daughter, so much to the husband, so much to the brother-in-law, and कर नहीं पा रही है, जो कि हमारे भारत की कई महिलाओं का बहुत बड़ा प्रॉब्लम है, बहुत ज़्यादा बड़ा, because we just don't want to face it. नहीं, झगड़ा हो जाएगा, छोड़ो ना, आज नहीं बात करते. This is one small thing. I think even not only I think I feel even in today's generation and relationships, my daughter is a 14-year-old today, and I was just telling Satish ji कि I'm very happy that the school that she belongs to today is the same school as I went, and back then we had it much later, the sex education class in 10th standard. Today she's already had it. She had it last year in 8th standard, and she already knows a lot of things. In fact, which is quite a breather. But yes, वो थोड़ा सा overconfidence भी है, because कुछ detail में नहीं पता. तो मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि she was quite inquisitive to know कि ये है क्या exactly. So I said, wait, let's watch the trailer. So I'm so excited to go back and show this to her. But मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि communication, like coming back to communication, is the key word, and we're just here to communicate and entertain at the same time. I'm sure you watched the trailer, and I am so looking forward to watching the film. I just told Tejas, I said I'm so looking forward to watching the film, but I'm so happy to be a part of this, and I'm so happy to be representing I don't think सिर्फ भारत की महिला, I think this is a worldwide, just because they don't probably come out with it in open, because the West probably just comes out very strong. That doesn't mean that no, of course they face it. I think every woman faces this, and the trauma that a woman goes through, even I would say, I mean, abortion is a huge trauma. I mean, pregnancy itself is a big thing, and yeah, I mean, I can only talk, of course, being a mother today, so I know the whole journey, and yeah, it's wonderful, and I'm so glad that we're coming with this really sensitive, entertaining film.
I'm so glad that we get to see you on the screen.
Thank you
So
so
a big
much.
hand for Prachi once again, guys. Thank you.
you.
So thank you so much, all of you who've joined us on the stage. At this point, I'm going to request you to take your seats once again in the front row. Thank you for that. We'll come back for photos in just a little bit, my friends. थोड़ी देर में photos करेंगे. फिलहाल के लिए Rakul, of course, I'm going to ask you to come back on the stage and join us. And could you just leave 3+1, यानी कि 4 chairs on stage? Yeah, thanks. But we thought we'll do something more engaging, more meaningful. And if you'd allow me, I'd like to invite 2 wonderful women to join Rakul and I on stage at this point. Starting with Anju Kish. Anju is a certified sexuality educator and the founder and CEO of Untaboo, which is a startup dedicated to safety and sex ed, providing sexual literacy to children and to teens. She's also a TEDx speaker and the author of an award-winning book titled How I Got My Belly Button. She's also a blogger empowering parents on sex ed and the producer of the only play on puberty and safety in India titled Growing Up. She's basically a rock star, a change maker, and an entrepreneur, and I'd like to invite her once again on the stage, Anju Kish. Thank you, Anju, for sparing time and joining us today, please. Joining Anju, Rakul, and me on stage at this point, let me please invite Dr. Ranjana Danu. You've heard her name, of course. She's one of the most famous names when it comes to gynecology and obstetrics in this country. She's here with us. She's a surgeon specialized in laparoscopic and robotic surgery, currently practicing at prominent hospitals, including Hinduja, Jaslok, Breach Candy, Surya Childcare, and of course, HN Reliance. One of the most renowned minimal access surgeons in the country, she's been a consultant for the past 30 years, and her areas of specialty include adolescent and geriatric gynecology. I hope I got everything right because I was challenging myself with that very erudite introduction. Thank you so much, Doctor. Thank you for joining us, please. As I said, my dear friends from the media, we're going to actually have a conversation about the film, but more importantly, about this topic. So, Anju, I'm going to start with you. You're sitting right next to me, so this is great. You know, there's a scene in the trailer where the child says that reproduction system ka chapter jo hai, wo optional hai. Do you think that sex education is still considered, you know, or frowned upon as part of schools' curriculums? What do teens feel? Like, do they want sex ed or not? What does your sense say?
Well, it's absolutely frowned upon even today. When we're talking
Really?
about it being acceptable, it's a very, very niche, small audience where it's acceptable. Most schools don't have sex education still, though it's been mandated by the government. And as far as kids are concerned, of course they want it. When we go to schools, even after the session is over, they don't want to leave. And I have a bag suitcase full of questions these kids ask us. So definitely. But of course, in a country like ours, where forget sex education, we don't even teach them the right names for their genitals, right? We give pet names, that this is your nunnu and this is your vivi and peepees. So sex education to bahut dur ki baat hai, but definitely things are changing for the better.
Someone reacted pretty late and that was fun. You know, they just went, yeah, that's true. Thank you so much, Anju. Starting off on a high note, Doctor, this next question is for you. You know, there's a dialogue again in the trailer that says, "Har ghar ki ek hi kahani hai, hum is bare mein baat hi nahi karna chahte." So, despite the awareness, why do you think, and let's talk about married couples or parents, why are we not as a generation opting for safe sex? And what can we do as a country to ensure safe sex to avoid multiple health issues?
So thank you for having me here, and that's a very good question. But as a gynecologist and as a health personnel, quickly I want to orient everybody that we are a very highly populated country. Our adolescent population is almost 253 million when you take the boys and girls, out of which half of it is women, or girls, and we need to protect them. Today, the survey that has come out latest says that we have to include men also in controlling the population, to educate them and to make them have more initiatives towards using the contraceptive measures, because there's a lot of resistance amongst men to use the condom or to try and advocate any form of contraception to the female. Now, most importantly, what we see as a global issue is 8% of adolescents, that is between the 13th to the 19th year, are seen to be teenage pregnancies, and that's a huge, huge population. Out of which 4% is urban, and the rest of it becomes the rural population. The problems in the rural and urban are totally different. In the urban population, it's more of peer pressure, it's curiosity, it's more of social media, it's more of addiction, it's a lot of living a life of excess, and that is what tips them into promiscuous behavior. On the contrary, what we're seeing in the rural areas is a total lack of the supply chain. In COVID, we saw it. The health workers couldn't reach, the condoms couldn't reach, the IUCDs couldn't reach, the pills couldn't reach, there were unwanted pregnancies, there were criminal abortions. But today, things are kind of getting streamlined. And I think social media, and I'm so happy that this movie has come at the right time post-COVID, where there's going to be huge mass education, and that's something that's going to play a huge role in patient education. So I'm very happy to be part of this team. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank
In
you for
fact,
that. Yes.
I was just reading a statistics that post-COVID, like she's saying, that 85,000 cases of STIs during the lockdown.
Scary. I want to take a minute. I know that we have questions and answers to do, but you know, since you're here and since you're such responsible media friends, HPV vaccine. Let's take a minute and talk about it, Doctor.
So quickly, the HPV is the human papilloma virus, and the first sexual debut of a girl introduces 70% of the human papilloma virus into her vagina, and which has an affinity for the cervix, which is a part of the uterus dipping into the vagina. Each new partner is going to be introducing a new HPV strain into her body, and we do know that HPV infection is the most contributing factor for cervical cancer, which happens to be the most common cancer amongst genital cancers in women globally. So the WHO has come out with a recommendation of usage of the HPV vaccine even from the pre-sexual debut age. So from the 9th year to the 45th year is when we are advocating this vaccine in 3 doses to women between the day 0, the 2nd month and the 6th month of taking the vaccination, and that is going to give us a huge global protection. So I do have a lot of mothers who come to me even when the girls are going to university and they say, Doc, my daughter is going to be hitting her first sexual debut, so I'm going to sit outside the room, but can you actually sex educate her and make her understand what it's going to be like and how she should take care? Because not only is the HPV vaccine going to protect her against cervical cancer, but there are warts, there are anogenital warts, there are vaginal infections which can be taken care of. So the HPV vaccine, I must say, is mandatory for everybody. So whoever has daughters, cousins, nieces, whoever between the age of 9 and 45, it's a myth. People think that, oh, after 25 or 26 or after having a child, I cannot take the HPV vaccine. Let me make it very clear. It's available all over media that any woman between 9 and 45 years is eligible to take the HPV vaccine for cervical cancer protection.
Thank you so much.
And not so expensive.
Not so
So it's less
expensive.
than 3,000 rupees a dose, and I think it's worthwhile considering the ill effects of cervical cancer.
Thank you so much for that. Rakul, I'm going to ask you this. You know, we're talking about and representing the movies, right? So how do you think movies like Chhatriwali will help in changing the people's mindset towards the importance of safe sex and sex education?
You see, I feel that anything, like Satish ji was saying, you know, anything said in an entertaining, light way leaves a stronger impact on the mind of the audiences other than being preachy. I mean, if we are trying to lecture somebody, people are like, you know, keep it with yourself, we don't really need it. But here, especially with this film, again, reiterating that our main agenda is to entertain. And this is a story of Sania's character that through her journey, even she finds out, I mean, due to a circumstance, that she needs to speak about this, right? So I feel a lot of the women, a lot of the men would connect with that, with some of the characters of the film, definitely one of the characters of the film. Women will connect with Sania's character. And then when it's a relatable story, I think the impact just happens. It's a byproduct of the film. And for us, I think for me specifically, even if 10 people, 100 people change the way they think and stop thinking of it as a taboo. You know, I think the strongest message that the film gives is about empowering women, about the choice to be able to say no, about the choice to decide what's right for them and for their bodies. Like you see that dialogue in the film which says, "Pyase ko kuएं ke paas aane do, but kuएं ki sharton par." So I think a lot of women are not even aware that they have that choice. So through a film like this, in a light-hearted way, watching with your family, you're obviously educating the women, but also the family largely on the whole. And I think every man who really cares for his partner and is a man in true sense would, you know, sort of absolutely bring in that change in the family. So we really hope it does.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Actually, on that note, I just want to add a little bit about the sexual act, and let's be bold and talk about it, that basically the sexual act is a biological act, and it's a confluence of two bodies wanting to give each other pleasure, which culminates in an orgasm. So it has to be very mutual. You're not getting into bed to just satisfy the other partner. And I think it's important that women come out in the open, because I have so many women in the reproductive age or the menopausal age who come and say, "Doc, I really don't know. I really don't have the sexual gratification. I don't know why I'm getting into the act." So it's very important now to converse and get across to them and make them understand more about the sexual act.
Thank you. Thank you so much. One fun question for you, Anju, which is, रेनकोट पहन के बारिश में भीगने का क्या फायदा? I think a lot of us at that point chuckled and giggled. But you know, there is a taboo, you know, when it comes to this. And how do you tackle that question when it comes to you? So when they say that, what's the point of wearing a condom?
See, that is just one question. And I think what this movie does, and what Rakul was talking about, humor. I think we use a lot of humor with the students also, because it's a sensitive topic, but who said that the sensitive topic needs to be taught seriously? They read about biology, they forget about it. So be humorous with them, open conversations, and you'll be amazed at the kind of questions which come up and how they absorb this information also. So when we talk about, if you, particularly with the question that you've asked about the raincoat pen case, it's an analogy, right? We use a lot of analogy in our workshops also. And when we talk about condoms, it is about, most of these kids think that condom reduces pleasure. Or the young ones who use condoms feel that they need to wear double condoms, ki ek phat gaya to. And we have to actually tell them that, hello, in fact, double pehnoge to friction ke karan, it will tear. So those are also very smaller points that you need to tell these children. More than condoms, they actually believe in plan B, which is emergency contraceptives, which I think, as the doctor would tell you, is such a dangerous trend of popping these emergency pills. So thank you for introducing this concept of them using condoms.
You know, because she's mentioned about emergency pills, I'll just take this opportunity to share something that happened back in school. I've seen so many people. I remember that when we were in high school, a lot of girls thought, and this is a question that a lot of kids have confusion about, that, and they think that they'd get pregnant if they just kiss. And I remember when we were in high school, there were girls who probably had their first kiss, and I remember this one girl who popped 6 contraceptives in a matter of 6 to 7 weeks, because she thought every time she kissed she needed to pop an contraceptive, and that led her to a massive surgery. So which is why, when even in the film Shiksha hai Asli Suraksha, so it's so important to educate. We're not talking about sex, but we're talking about safe sex. We're talking about what is the right way, so that we are responsible citizens, and we take the necessary measures so that anything that you do is not life altering, and it was very shocking. Now, I mean, at that time even we didn't have the sense to know what's going on, and honestly, even I thought कि किस करने से शायद pregnant हो जाते होंगे.
But even now, maybe this might not be the misconception, but they have other misconceptions. Kids as old as 17 and 18 also say that, oh, you don't need to use a contraception. After sex, you just jump up and down and you won't get pregnant. I mean, I don't know what they think, that the sperm is going to take a U-turn and come back if they... So there are a lot of misconceptions about it.
Ladies, for right now, of course, we're running out of time, but I just want to say thank you so much for, gracing our, launch today, and for lending your expertise and giving us your time. It really means a lot to us. A big hand for our guests, please. Thank you. And can I please request for a photo opportunity with our wonderful guests? So with Anju and Doctor. Drove back from office all the way, hence tired. Who is this? Bombay की traffic? Yes, I. ठीक है. This is another favorite. करवा चौथ का व्रत है. किसने ये लिखा? Wonderful.
पर वो तो साल में
अगर आपने व्रत रखा हो तो हम और भी impressed हैं, है ना? That would be amazing. अच्छा, तो सामने से reject आ गया. ओहो, इसे आपने rejection कह दिया. Okay, this. Thank you for your honesty. मेरे पेट में गैस हुआ है, आज नहीं प्लीज. लाल पेन से लिखा गया है. आप में से किसने लिखा है?
हुए हाथ उठाएंगे.
कौन है ये? एक्चुअली आप हाथ मत उठाएं. अगली बार आपके स्पाउस के साथ आपकी डीपी देखेंगे तो सिर्फ गैस याद आएगा. Alright, and the last one, but thank you, some really honest and entertaining jawabs. This is the last one that was given to us. Oh, because they feel that the Chhatri does not give you the real feel. ये किसने दिया था? हाथ उठा ही लो नयन तुम. हाँ, कौन है? कौन है? इसलिए तो हमने ये फिल्म बनाई है ताकि लोग इससे आगे बढ़ सके. But thank you so much, our friends from the media. Some wonderful, funny answers. All right, all right. Okay, this is just questions I'm going to throw at you and in random order, and you got to answer. This is going to be fun. Funny reason from your partner ever. Okay, that's done. What is the answer that you received from your parents? बचपन में पूछते हैं ना कि पापा मैं आया कहाँ से? तो आपने कभी, आप में से किसी ने भी अपने माँ बाप से ये सवाल पूछा?
हाँ, हमारे माँ बाप तो बोलते थे भगवान ने भेजा बेटा तेरे को. बाद में पता चला भगवान कौन होता है.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
और क्या होता है?
इससे बेहतर जवाब हो तो कोई?
नहीं. I was too shy to ask, so I tried to find out from either school or some other friends. I was just too shy to ask this. I was a very shy girl. So now that you're asking me the question, when I go back and think, I couldn't really ask them this.
You couldn't?
Yeah, I couldn't.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. I went to my school library. Because internet उस टाइम पर था नहीं ना, जब हम लोग स्कूल में थे, तो हम जाते थे और कहते S, okay? Because शायद S में होगा sex, तो वहाँ पे शायद पता चलेगा. But I didn't find answers there either. You were not inquisitive at all.
Not at all. I don't think I ever asked this question, went to the library, never made any effort.
जानना ही नहीं है ये.
नहीं, जब पता चलेगा चल जाएगा.
चल जाएगा, क्या बात है.
Fantastic. I don't think I really.
Yeah, fair enough. At what age did you find out how babies were born? Like, do you remember that age?
Yeah, I remember that 9th class, the biology chapters, which spoke about, the reproductive organs, which is also mentioned here. So I think it's 9th standard.
9th standard?
Same.
Same? Sumit को mic हम पहुंचा देते हैं. Sumit.
I also must have found out around when I was 6-7 years old. I knew that, I came from my mother, but I didn't know my father had any role to play in that. I wasn't told anything about that.
All right, Sumit, since you've got a mic finally, is there a fun condom buying story? Is it stressful for boys to go, because you talk about women and the pressures that they face, but I feel like हम इस बार में बात नहीं करते कि लड़कों को कभी-कभी उनको भी awkward हो सकता है यार. So do you have any sort of story that you remember where you actually went to do the right thing, which is to buy protection? Any memorable stories there?
Initially it would be embarrassing, and I do remember I used to go meet one person, and then I went to the medical store far away from that person's building, because I didn't want that medical store fellow to know why I'm going up every weekend. Correct. That would not be cool.
Correct.
नहीं, पर ऐसा होता था कई बार है ना. एक तो तकरीबन ये सब चीजें है ना आपको दोस्त दिया करते थे. अब आपकी मतलब, और दोस्त ने कैसे खरीदा होता था आप जानने में इंटरेस्टेड भी नहीं होते थे असल में ना. आपको लगता था आपका फ्रेंड ने आपको दे दिया, या कभी बाद में जब सीखा तो परचून की दुकान पे जा कर के उसको बोलते हो भाई साहब टॉफ़ी और वो गुब्बारा भी दे देना यार. तो वो टॉफ़ी के चॉकलेट के पैकेट के नीचे वो चुपचाप रख देता था. सर ना वो डिस्कस करता था ना दूसरा आदमी डिस्कस करता था.
कुछ मेडिकल स्टोर वाले भी बड़े मतलब नटखट होते हैं कि आपने अगर मांग भी लिया है डिस्क्रीटली एंड ही कैन सी दैट यू आर एम्बैरेस्ड, तो हाथ में ही लेके ऐसे करे, ये आपका है ना, ये वाला चाहिए, ये वाला चाहिए, ऐसे वो 4-5 लोगों के सामने 3-4 ऑप्शन भी दिखाएगा आपको, मन ही ना करे आपका दोबारा जाने का.
Correct. You know, I remember so clearly, vividly the first
But I
time.
must tell you one thing. I must tell you one thing. It was a great experience. हमने तो कभी देखा नहीं था कंडोम कैसे बनते हैं, ठीक है ना. लेकिन तेजस जब हमको लेके गया वहाँ पर, कहाँ पूना के पास हमने कहीं शूट किया था ना, फैक्ट्री में. इट वाज फैंटास्टिक फैक्ट्री, मतलब है ना ऐसा. और लोग ऐसे नॉर्मली काम कर रहे थे वहाँ पे, इतने नॉर्मली काम कर रहे थे.
And most of them were women.
Most of them
working in the factory.
working in this
It was very difficult to shoot in the factory though, because the chemical smell was so strong.
So strong.
कि मतलब ऐसे सांस रोक के अंदर जाना पड़ता था, शूट करके बाहर आना पड़ता था. But I was surprised to see so many women. As a matter of fact, बनाया फेंका मतलब they वैसे collect कर रहे हैं, फिर check कर रहे हैं. When there is, you know, different kind
और
of tests.
चेकिंग के भी मतलब साइजेस हैं उसके, अलग अलग वो हैं, उसको चेक करना, उसको मतलब हमको हंसी आती. अच्छा है हंस के ये बात सुने और सीखे. यही एक्चुअली फिल्म बताती है आपको असल में, क्योंकि वहाँ पे वो जितनी मशीनरी थी उसके अंदर कैसे फटाफट और वो कितने 25 लाख कंडोम डेली के बनाते हैं. तो इसका मतलब कंडोम तो यूज होते हैं अगर लाख डेली के बनते हैं. एंड दिस फैक्ट्री इज क्वाइट पॉपुलर दैट कितने ब्रांड्स उनके बनते हैं असल में. तो जब हम खरीदते हैं और इसके बारे में जानकारी रखना चाहते हैं और सेफ सेक्स या पॉपुलेशन कंट्रोल करने के लिए जब इस तरह की फैक्ट्रियां बनी हुई हैं, तो डेफिनेटली इसकी अवेयरनेस कराना तो बहुत ज़रूरी है. एंड दैट वाज अ ग्रेट एक्सपीरियंस टू नो हाउ कंडोम्स आर मेड, यू नो. दिस वाज फैंटास्टिक एंड मोस्ट ऑफ द women वर्किंग देयर.
Thank you so much. I remember जब हम स्कूल में थे, अशोक राव कवि आए थे हमारे स्कूल में, and he was, you know, he took a banana and he took a condom and then he put it on that banana, and I remember all of us, like ये visual अब तक मेरे मन में बसा हुआ है. But I'm grateful कि that sex ed class happened, and I'm so grateful that, you know, स्कूलों में ये पढ़ाया जाता है and बिल्कुल compulsory होना चाहिए. However, some of us have received the worst sex advice in the world. So I'm going to take this to the panel at this point and ask you, what is the worst sex advice you've ever received? Sumit, you seem like you have an answer. You're like, मुझे पता है आंसर.
I didn't really ask for it, but trial and error से I kind of figured it out.
Of course. ये वाला सुना कि हिंग का लेप लगाना चाहिए पेट पे तो गैस निकल जाती है? नहीं. Oh, that's just me.
Yeah.
नहीं, हमारे टाइम में होता था, कहते कि ये सोने की भस्म खा लो तो ज्यादा स्ट्रॉन्गर होगा. असल में वो भस्म होती थी, पीतल या सोने की है ना, आप इसको चाट लो, शहद के साथ चाट लो, तो द सेक्स विल बी मच स्ट्रॉन्गर.
Oh my God, wow.
बाद में शिलाजीत भी बनी है एक्चुअली उसकी, तो एक ब्रांड बना शिलाजीत. नहीं
वही तो है. एक्चुअली आयुर्वेद में अगर देखा जाए तो बहुत सारे ऐसे तोड़ हैं, जोड़ हैं, एंड यू नो समटाइम्स व्हेन यू टॉक अबाउट इट यू लाफ अगेन, बट एक्चुअली अगर साइंटिफिकली देखा जाए देयर इज अ लॉट ऑफ, यू नो, एनहांसिंग और लाइक परफॉर्मेंस एनहांसिंग जो दवाइयां होती हैं. सो
I was though introduced to a particular pan which was supposed to be explosive, but it didn't do anything. It was
Love his
totally
stories.
flopped.
I'm telling you.
Which world are these stories from?
Okay, just for fun, the most double meaning song that we've ever heard of. I'll start. Yes! खड़ा है दर पे तेरे आशिक खड़ा है, अनिल कपूर scarred me for life. Okay, yes or no? Prachi, any song that you remember and you're like, क्या चल रहा है इस गाने में?
सरकाले खटिया ना बाबा ना क्या?
Yeah!
सरकाले
खटिया जाड़ा लगे. Or any other songs? Same. What about भोली भाली लड़की? 90s
वो
man, 90s.
छत पे सोया था बहनोई में तन्ने समझ के सो गई. That seems to be a massive confusion.
Yes, absolutely. I remember that one. भोली भाली लड़की, खोल तेरे दिल की प्यार वाली खिड़की. Are they really talking about a प्यार वाली खिड़की or are they talking about something else? No?
But Namak Iska was definitely like a really raunchy song.
But वो तो
हाँ, मतलब
गुलजार साहब ने
Yeah.
लिखा था.
But
And
it was
he was
raunchy.
not double meaning anything. He was like, actually इसका single meaning ही है. And yeah, नमक इसका also beautifully aesthetic song. So that's great. Thank you for that. Yeah, I think for right now we're done. Thank you for being sports. Thank you for not being awkward about the questions that I asked, because that is the message of the film. And फिलहाल के लिए, of course, I'm going to ask Manish, Ronnie and Tejas to join us back on stage for the media Q&A. My friends from the media, you've been so kind, so patient. Thank you so much, and of course, this is over to you. You want a mic? Sir, एक second रुकिए, पहले हमारे guest आ जाएंगे.
From a humble family, if not conservative. But you know, obviously cinema has its own language and its own tone, and it also has its own limitation. But when it comes to, you know, there's no denying that we need to have an open conversation on this subject. But how do you open a conversation in the real life, you know, especially, you know, in a society which is conservative?
You'll have to direct your question to somebody.
I
on
think
the
Rakul,
panel.
can you take it, please?
Yes. So, you know, I'll tell you that there is a reason why it's a mandate in our books. And there's a reason why it's been there for years. I mean, she's had a sex ed class in her school. I've had it, and this is back in 2008. So I'm sure that there is a reason why it's a part of the curriculum, why it's in books. There's a need for it. And I think the right way is for the parents to understand the importance of having a free-flowing conversation with their kids. And which is also through the film that we say that what is the right age to start having the sex education, you know. So if you're saying that puberty you hit at 13, 12 or 13, that means you're physically, biologically an adult, and which means that you should know about the basic human functions and about how your body really you know, biologically functions. So I think it will have to begin from schools and from homes, you know, parents inculcating a healthy environment at home to have conversations regarding, and it's as normal. The more we'll normalize it, the more normal it'll become. The more we, as the future generation, sort of hush the topic and avoid having a conversation about it, it'll remain a taboo. So I think two places, school and home, because that's where the child is spending maximum time and the environment is sort of created. And I'm a very strong believer that if right information is given, it will avoid, it will save kids from, you know, making wrong choices out of curiosity, out of the desire to knowing more. So I think it's very important to educate at the right age, and it will have to begin from homes and schools.
My second question, I think Rakul.
Sorry, we're going to have to pass on your mic and give somebody else a time.
If you don't mind, just one important question.
1 second. Ronnie wants to add to that.
Oh, yeah. I just want to add something here. Just sitting there in the audience, I just realized, I think over the last 15 years, I've been to many trailer launches, whatever else. The question you asked today, how between talent and media today, we had such a very open discussion. Satish has talked about sizes are different. Somebody was excited about going to the condom factory. There are 4 fantastic open questions here. So it's not as taboo as we think it is, because if the public and all of us sitting here in such a wide forum with media can discuss this with fun, with humor, with simplicity and with openness, anything can happen. So I think these are the steps that actually need to be taken there. And I think I've not enjoyed a conference like this before, or a release like this before, than anything else. Rather, I'd much rather be at a place like this than any item number or song number or any music number that we're releasing, because that's really what we've communicated with each other. And thank you for the media for being so open to take a topic like this, to sit here. And I think I turned around to watch everyone's reaction when Doctor was speaking and all our experts were here, and everyone had a smile on their face. And that's what it should
Sir,
be.
please, can I ask one important question? Like recently we had an incident in a Bangalore school, you know, where obviously there was a search done and there were things found inside the school. And obviously that issue, you know, it raised many questions. You know, there was condemnation, and also there was some conversation that maybe this is a result of, you know, having sex education in school, and, you know, students have gone astray. So if any one of you all, you know, Satish ji and Rakul ji, would you like to, you know, add your 2 bit on it? There was an incident in a Bangalore school where there were, you know, stuff like condoms, used condoms, contraceptives, they were found in a Bangalore school. I think class 8 to 10 students. So that obviously created quite a rage in the, you know, in news and on social media.
Yes, when this kind of a revolution happens, something wrong also happens, you know. And that is that kids at that age, how crime happens, you know. It is how theft happens. So something is happening. What student they were doing, maybe I don't know about this news, but if they must have done it, they should be kind of given punishment for that, because teaching sex education and defining it in a different level is a totally different thing. You can't take condoms in the school. that is wrong. But you have to learn about condoms and learn about sex. That is another thing, you know. So I think I don't know what happened to the children. They were punished and what their parents were told, but they should have been treated normally to tell them not to carry. It is like mobile phones nowadays, you know. People, students are not allowed to take mobile phones in the school. So it is the same thing. It is the need. It is the need. They have to know about it. But you can't defy certain regulations which are needed for the school. That is, I think,
रकुल यूथ सेंटर राहुल हियर फ्रॉम द फिल्मी चर्चा मेरा सवाल आपसे ये था कि फिल्म में तो बहुत कमाल का काम दिखा आपका, आप एजुकेट कर रही हैं लोगों को, लेकिन सही मायने में फिल्में सिर्फ एंटरटेनमेंट के लिए बनती है, एंटरटेनमेंट के लिए ही होती है, इनडायरेक्टली भले ही मैसेज दे रही हो, लेकिन यहाँ पे खुल के बात हुई सेक्स एजुकेशन को लेके, फिल्में भी हो रही है, लेकिन उतना मायने वो नहीं रखता, लोगों को फिल्म एंटरटेनमेंट के पर्पज से ही लोग देखते हैं. पर्सनल लेवल पे आप क्या कभी किसी को गाइड करते हैं या फ्यूचर में किसी को एजुकेट करने के अपने फीमेल फैंस में ही या फ्रेंड सर्कल में, कभी पर्सनल लेवल पे, ये तो फिल्म और अभी प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस, ये प्रमोशन का दौर है, सिर्फ पर्सनल लेवल पे क्या आप पहले कभी किया आपने कुछ या फ्यूचर में करेंगे, वो मायने रखता है ज़्यादा आपके लिए?
कि पर्सनल लेवल पे किसी को सेक्स एड दिया है मैंने कि नहीं?
नहीं
किसी भी मामले में एजुकेट किया है?
जी.
एब्सोल्युटली. आई थिंक हम लोग ये तो नेचुरल प्रोसेस है ना. अगर मुझे किसी चीज़ के बारे में मालूम है और कोई डिस्कशन चल रहा है तो आई विल टेल माई फ्रेंड्स और फैमिली और माई सिबलिंग दैट आई थिंक आउट ऑफ एक्सपीरियंस आई थिंक यू शुड डू दिस, एंड दैट्स हाउ ह्यूमंस आर. आई मीन हम लोग सोसाइटी में ऐसे ही इवॉल्व होते हैं कि जब आप
हेलो
वेट करना है ना, वेट करना है. आप बताइए, कंटिन्यू करें. ओके सर, थैंक यू. राकुल.
या तो आई थिंक आपका सवाल मैंने मोस्टली आंसर कर दिया. दैट आई ऑलवेज बिलीव इन शेयरिंग वट एवर नॉलेज आई हैव, वट एवर टू द बेस्ट, एंड आई थिंक स्पेशली फॉर whether it's my staff के बच्चे होते हैं जिनको हम I educate them, or if they have doubts or even if they have questions about anything in life, if you can help someone, why not? That's humanity. अगर कोई मुझसे पूछेगा तो मैं ऑफ कोर्स खुल के बात करूंगी. सी आई हैव टू बिलीव इन द सब्जेक्ट दैट आई एम पोर्ट्रेइंग. ऑल ऑफ अस हैव टू बिलीव इन इट. इफ वी शाई अवे फ्रॉम इट, then how are we being true to our subject?
Rakul, hi, straight on.
Hi.
Rakul, I wanted to get to know your thoughts about sex being such a taboo topic in India in itself, but is it far more difficult for women to be expressive about it and to just be open with their partner, so open even in their family, in their in-laws, because right from inherently it has been more taboo, and women, it's not considered women okay to see sex as a mode of pleasure, as bodily pleasure. Is that the inherent issue, that women do not see sex as pleasure and is considered a pleasure mode for men only?
I think, like you said, that there is a taboo about conversation of sex, and that is largely because women are not even aware that they are empowered to have a right to speak. And that is what the film does. It creates awareness that it's a two-way street. It's not a one-way street. We're not in a hopefully not in a patriarchal society where only men command and demand and the women are supposed to listen to or follow orders. And that is what even the film says, that, it's very important for both men and women to understand their needs, to be very vocal in a intimate relationship, in a personal relationship. And of course, women should have a voice and a choice of whatever they want to do.
एक और सवाल है आपसे. This is your 5th release in 9 months. Runway 34, Katputli, Dr. G, Thank God, and now this. कैसे जगल कर पा रही हो आप?
कैसे जगल कर पा रही हैं?
Yes.
I think I'm a workaholic and I love working, and I'm just grateful कि ये सब फिल्में मुझे करने का मौका मिला, and I just hope that this continues. मैं 360 days काम कर सकती हूँ, 366 days.
एक आखिरी सवाल सतीश जी से। सतीश जी, आप यू आर द मोस्ट वेटरन ओवर हियर, और जैसे हमारे कमाल की एंकर ने कहा दैट वी हैव ऑल लव्ड यू फ्रॉम द टाइम यू अपीयर्ड ऑन स्क्रीन, लेकिन जो अपने यू हैव सीन हाउ द फिल्म इंडस्ट्री हैज़ चेंज्ड ओवर द इयर्स. Is it very refreshing? Is it something new? Is it almost feeling like a debutant कि आप आज ऐसी फिल्म में आप इतना कमाल का किरदार, you can act it, but earlier, even probably thinking about this, even probably writing the script, many actors would probably shy away from it ये सोच के कि कौन देखेगा, लोग क्या बोलेंगे. Are you feeling that refreshment?
Interesting question, because I think हर आदमी, हर एक्टर जो है वो ग्रो करना चाहता है, सीखना चाहता है. जैसे कि जब हम यंग होते हैं तो हम सीखते हैं अपने एक्सपीरियंस लोगों से, लेकिन मुझे लगता है कि जब आप एक्सपीरियंस हो जाते हैं तो आपके लिए बहुत ज़रूरी होता है कि आप यंगर जनरेशन से कुछ सीखें, और तभी आपकी ग्रोथ का पता चलता है. असल में आई एम इन ए मोड ऑफ लर्निंग अगेन. आई एम रेडी टू लर्न. आई एम ए ड्रामा स्टूडेंट फ्रॉम नेशनल स्कूल ऑफ ड्रामा फिल्म इंस्टीट्यूट. आई हैव डन ओवर 150 films. I have directed films. I have acted in plays. I have done television. I have done radio. I have done events. Everything I've done. I have written. I'm a writer. But till today, and now especially, I want to learn. So it is a very exciting period which is happening for me. And when I get a script like this, I get very excited, very moved, because that gives me promise and space to change myself and reinvent myself. And that is very important for an actor. And I'm going through the best phase when I read a script like this, which gives me immense scope. Or as a director, last year I directed a film, Kagaz, which did very well. So it is a reinventing period, that it is very necessary. It has been 40 years for me, more than 40 years in this film industry. But how I am working here and still standing here is because of your question, that I want to learn. I want to keep on learning. That is important.
Thank you, Russell. Even if you might not remember my name, I remember yours. Come.
उनके लिए तो सेफ सेक्स सबसे ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है. उनके लिए तो ये फिल्म आई थिंक प्रॉमिस है ना, कि है जी, यही खुलासा है कि उनके लिए कॉन्डोम जो है वो बहुत ज़रूरी है. और आई थिंक आज की डेट में उनके पास वैसे ही काफ़ी इंफॉर्मेशन अवेलेबल है, जिसकी वजह से आई एम श्योर, और जितने भी लोग हैं जो सेक्स वर्कर्स के साथ काम करते हैं, कई सारी संस्थाएं, तो सबसे पहला पार्ट उन्हें यही पढ़ाते हैं कि आप अपने स्वास्थ्य का ध्यान रखें, आप कॉन्डम्स का इंसिस्ट करें कॉन्डम्स के इस्तेमाल के लिए. तो ये है.
आजकल तो उनके लिए मैंडेटरी हो गया असल में, कि आपको क्लाइंट कोई आता है तो कॉन्डोम तो इस्तेमाल करना ही पड़ेगा, क्योंकि उनको सेफ सेक्स की सबसे ज़्यादा ज़रूरत है. ये बहुत बहुत ज़रूरी हो गया. जो हम किससे सुनते हैं, और एनजीओ से हम कई बार, कोई दोस्त हैं जो एनजीओ की वो बताते हैं, उसमें सबसे आता है कि जब इस तरह के इलाकों में जाता है, जिनको जो उनका वो बिजनेस है, उनका प्रोफेशन है, उनकी दाल रोटी है वो, लेकिन अपनी बॉडी का ख्याल रखने के लिए, अपने हेल्थ का ख्याल रखने के लिए उनको ये सलाह दी जाती है, जो कि हमारे फिल्म के अंदर बताई गई है कि आपको सेफ सेक्स जो है, इवन दैट ज़रूरत चाहे आपकी रोजी रोटी है, और वो एनजीओज और संस्थाएं हमेशा करती रहती हैं. ये पढ़ने में भी आता है, और जितने एनजीओज के दोस्त लोग हैं हमारे, हम सबको बताते हैं कि हम जगह जगह जाके प्रोस्टिट्यूट्स को एक्चुअली ये सबक देते हैं और उनको शिक्षा देते हैं इस बात की.
I want to ask Mr. Manish Kalra.
There's 2 mics around there. Huh?
Yes. How, so in the past, like Z5 has platformed films like Helmet and Janhit Mein Jari. Right. So how receptive is the audience towards such films? What has been the experience like?
Like I said in the start, हम लोग real relatable stories करना चाहते हैं, तो काफ़ी ये stories जो हैं connected होती हैं लोगों से. मतलब when we talk to people on the ground who have faced issues with buying a condom, or who have faced issues as a woman, kind of going through multiple pregnancies and all, so they connect with the society. One thing which we are realizing is कि जो taboo topics होते हैं, उनको खुल के बात किया जाए तो बड़े जोर से connect होता है, मतलब attention seek होती है. So some of these films are actually really done very well on our platform. And we believe that if we go with social message like Satish ji was saying, वो entertainment के साथ काफी impact करता है society के लिए. तो we are like super excited to be a part of Chhatriwali. Thank you.
Yes, we can hear you. Yes, go ahead. No, you started off saying hi, Tejas.
Yeah,
Continue your
okay.
question.
Now
Yeah.
it's working. Yeah, just wanted to ask you, do you feel a film like Chhatriwala will actually bring in the social message and be a conversation starter for the masses here?
We really hope so, because the intention is that. And with Z5, I think we'll reach out to a wider audience. And I think this subject is anyway, like everybody said, that it has been there, and a lot of people, they were not talking about it earlier. But now that we are making films on it, and the films are received very well, I'm hoping that this film also does the same thing, and we move one step forward, and people start openly talking about this subject. And I think taboo, it should be gone completely. I'm really hoping that.
देश के बाहर मतलब मेरा बहुत ज़्यादा इंटरेक्शन हुआ नहीं है इस टॉपिक पे ज़्यादा लोगों से. भारत में ही ज़्यादा रहा है मेरा इंटरेक्शन इस टॉपिक में. पर मेरा ऐसा अनुमान है कि अपने यहाँ थोड़ा ज़्यादा लोग शर्माते हैं इन चीज़ों से. बाहर जो है वो क्या है कि कई सारी चीज़ें जो अमूमन परिवारों में कॉमन होती है, जैसे हमारे मिडिल क्लास परिवारों में एक दूसरे को झप्पी पाना या एक फिजिकल कांटेक्ट जो है इवन माँ बाप और बच्चों के बीच में उतना प्रेवलेंट नहीं है. जैसे मेरी माँ और मेरे पिताजी बचपन से मुझे से झप्पी नहीं पा रहे थे. वो बाद में उन्होंने फिल्मों में और प्रीमियर पे देखा कि लोग हर आके पहले गले मिलते, तो आजकल मेरी माँ भी थोड़ा मुझे गले मिल रही है, पर पहले नहीं सालों से कभी गले मिलती थी मेरे. तो
एक्चुअली क्या है, हम तो ग्रो कर रहे हैं.
हाँ.
हमारे फिल्मों के अंदर जब हीरो हीरोइन को पास आते 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 लिप्स के पास आते थे ना, तो दो फूल टकराते थे आपस के अंदर. तो दो फूल टकराने से आज अब कहाँ से कहाँ गया आप देख ही रहे हैं हम लोग, है नो. किधर पहुंच गए हैं हम लोग और सीख गए हैं. तो अब उसके बारे में अगर वो सीख गए हैं, तो ये सीखना जो कि हमारी सेहत के लिए और हमारी पॉपुलेशन के लिए बहुत ज़रूरी है, वो तो बहुत बहुत ज़रूरी था. अब फूलों की ज़रूरत नहीं है, अब तो फूल्स की ज़रूरत है सर. आई थिंक वो लड़की का डायलॉग बिल्कुल सही था. बहुत आई एम वेरी थैंकफुल दैट यू नोटिस दैट, एंड दैट वाज एन इम्पॉर्टेंट फिल्म. जो कि गलती हुई थी उन बच्चों से, लेकिन उन्होंने अपना वर्जन दिया था. बट डेफिनेटली उनकी ना समझी थी वो, और वो समझ के लिए ये पिक्चर एक्चुअली उनको समझाने के लिए कि ये बहुत ज़रूरी है. उस वक्त अगर वो सेफ सेक्स सोच लेती, अगर वो कंडोम की बात करती, या अपना कुछ ऐसा उनको सेफ्टी मेजर होता, तो एक्चुअली वो नहीं होता. उनसे गलती हुई और उनको उसकी सज़ा भुगतनी पड़ी असल में. तो दैट वाज दिस थिंग. बट उनकी अपनी पर्सनल लिबर्टी थी, पर्सनल फ्रीडम था. उस लड़की का था कि 18 आप क्या कर सकते. उनको सेक्स एजुकेशन के बारे में पता था, पर वो तो ना समझी से गलती हुई थी उसके अंदर, तेरे संग के अंदर.
Wow, I was really impressed with that entire dialogue.
Thank you so much.
For you. The last two questions, because I know a lot of us are on a clock at this point. Sir, आप उड़ गए तो आप पूछ लीजिए सवाल.
हाय, मैं दीपेश पांडे, दैनिक जागरण से. मेरा सवाल तेजस आपसे रहेगा. ये जो फिल्म है, इसकी शुरुआत कहाँ से होती है, आइडिएशन कहाँ से स्टार्ट होता है, क्या कुछ पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंस भी रहा है आपका इस फिल्म को लेके, सब्जेक्ट को लेके?
पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंस तो हर किसी का होता है आई थिंक, वो यहाँ तो डिस्कस नहीं कर पाऊँगा. लेकिन फिल्म की शुरुआत तो वहीं हुई थी जब एक बहुत अच्छी कहानी संचित और प्रियदर्शी लेकर आए थे. हम लोगों ने डिस्कस की और मुझे लगा ये कहानी बहुत अच्छी है, सबके साथ बांटनी चाहिए, और इसमें एक ह्यूमर छुपा हुआ है. इनफैक्ट ह्यूमर के अंदर हम अपनी कहानी बता रहे हैं. तो मुझे लगा ये बताने की ज़रूरत भी है और बताने में मज़ा भी आएगा, लोगों को सुनने में भी मज़ा आएगा। तो यही है, फिल्म बनाने की जर्नी यहीं से शुरू हुई और फिर जब RSVP पहुंचा और जब रॉनी सर ने कहा कि लेट्स मेक दिस फिल्म, आई थिंक देन बन गई फिल्म।
रकुल, एक सवाल आपसे भी रहेगा।
ये लास्ट 2 सवाल आप ही पूछेंगे?
पूछ ही लेते हैं।
ओके, डन। लास्ट क्वेश्चन, लास्ट क्वेश्चन।
रकुल, फिल्म में कंपलसरी एंड ऑप्शनल का नाम लिया गया है, तो आपके लिए कुछ ऐसी चीज़ रही है जब लोग कहते हो कि आपके लिए ऑप्शनल है बट आपने उसे कंपलसरी माना हो?
मेरे लिए क्या, आप एक बार क्वेश्चन रिपीट करेंगे?
कोई ऐसी चीज़ जो लोग आपके लिए बोलते हो ये ऑप्शनल है, इसे छोड़ दो, बट आपने उसे कंपलसरी मान के उस पर काम किया हो?
हाँ, लाइफ में मेरा पूरा सिलेबस, जितना मेरा पढ़ाई का सिलेबस होता था, जब बोलते थे कि ये ऑप्शनल है, इसको छोड़ देना, मैं फिर भी इतनी अच्छी स्टूडेंट थी कि मैं सब पढ़ के जाती थी कि मैं सब कंपलसरी लर्न करके जाऊंगी, कुछ भी आ सकता है।
Are we doing more? Hey, we can't do now cheating, no? We have to like stop question answers. But, sir, please, can I ask one question? मेरा हक बनता है सर, मैं बहुत टाइम से यहाँ पे काम कर रही हूँ. Please, I love you too. Ronnie, I have to ask you a question. The idea of having a platform like Z5 for you, why is it important?
Actually, my personal experience with Z, Manish, goes back 31 years to 1991.
Oh my God, yes.
Yep.
We watched those shows.
So, Saab CD, and from those days onwards is where it started. And I think Z in India represents simplicity, mass communication, and ability to reach out to audiences everywhere and in every language. And I think for a film like this, which is a very simple story and very entertaining, we can't think of a better platform for that.
Wonderfully answered. Thank you so much, all of you. Thank you for giving us your
I just want
time.
to add like the parting words. I just want to say that, you know, we've all had a great time having this conversation, but I still want to reiterate the fact that Chhatriwali is a complete family entertainer. Like for me to make this choice, I discussed the script with my parents when I said, okay, you know, I want to do this film. And when my dad, I showed the trailer, he was really impressed. And this is the film that you can watch with your family. So someone had asked कि हम कैसे शुरू करें ये conversation, तो आप अपनी family के साथ बैठ के ये film देखिए, because we can promise you that there is not one dialogue, not one scene in the film which is sort of you know, out of line, and it's a complete enjoyable film. So just the parting words, I just wanted to say that.
Thank you so much.
I want to thank Tejas. He's such a brilliant director and a very calm person and very good for actors. मैं जो भी improvisation, I keep on improvising a lot, but I remember इसके अंदर एक dialogue बड़ा famous होने वाला है, मैं अभी तुम्हें लिख के दे रहा हूँ कि young generation की यही बात तो मुझे बहुत पसंद है, हिम्मत बहुत होती है. I keep on praising the younger generation, which I feel indebted to younger generation, that I'm still here to look at this younger generation. And he's very open director. I had a great time shooting this film and playing this character called Ratan Lamba, you know, which was so entertaining. With you will see him on the screen.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for giving us a very important evening. It's the first Friday of the week of the year, and you spent it with Chhatriwali and us at Z5 and RSVP. Thank you so much. I know our friends from the media want photographs, so I'm going to say yes. Yes.
Hello. Yeah. So we have our team here. I would like to invite everybody from Chhatriwali cast and crew onto the stage for this photo opportunity, because this might see, of course the team makes the film, so I want everybody to be here. Sonia, Ishan and the entire team, please come over.